seconds of a 115 to 113 victory over the Houston Rockets in New Orleans. DeMarcus Cousins tore his Achilles, ending the season, and in that game he was performing well, and ended the game hitting 15 points, 13 rebounds, and 11 assists in 30 minutes. Now what does this mean for DeMarcus Cousins moving forward and the Pelicans moving forward from here on out? It should be obvious that the Pelicans will look to go into full rebuild mode and tank, but I'm going to be talking about what this means for everyone and possible scenarios for each of them moving forward. Now this isn't the only devastating injury we've seen all season to a playoff-bound team. If you remember all the way back to the very first game of the regular season, Gordon Hayward snapped his ankle in the first quarter in his first game in a Celtics uniform. Hayward's injury was absolutely devastating, as it had everyone sad. People who even despise the Celtics felt awful. To add even more drama, it was a nationally televised game and drew awful and just awful reactions from the bench, the crowd, announcer Kevin Harlan, and so on outside of the NBA world. And also, the Celtics were a team looking to compete for a ring. If you remember last season before of course they got other guys like Kyrie Irving, they were a team that was still amazing. They ended up first in the Eastern Conference. They made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals where I'll say they got whooped by LeBron James. But I guess to be fair, Isaiah Thomas was injured. But anyways, it was just awful. And also the Celtics, like I said, they're looking for a ring, and they lost their second best player, Gordon Hayward, for that season. And at the time, it was that dramatic. People were like, this could be a career devastating injury. This could end his career. Doesn't look like that now that time has passed. It's starting to look better, and obviously has. But things didn't look good. There was a lot of stress, a lot of emotions surrounding that. And the only thing the Celtics could do was simply give more minutes to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and hope for the absolute best. And well, it's done great. Jason Tatum is just tearing up the NBA. I mean, he has an amazing case for Rookie of the Year. Do I think he'll win? I think it'll be Ben Simmons, but there's been talk for other guys too. Of course, Kyle Kuzma of the Lakers. One guy I think that should be in that conversation. Won't win, I don't think. Personally, if I had the choice, I wouldn't, but Bogdan Bogdanovic of the Kings. He's not bad. People overlook him because he's on the Kings, but he's not bad. But anyways, Jason Tatum, like I said, he's doing great. Has a good case for Rookie of the Year, and Jaylen Brown is performing well in his second season after getting drafted third in 2016. But, Celtics still, like I said, they're doing great. They're currently first in the Eastern Conference. 1.5 games currently over the Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe. Actually, I might be wrong about that, but they're first in the East. But the Celtics, there's a difference between the Celtics and the Pelicans. The Celtics have Kyrie Irving, Al Horford, Marcus Morris, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum. The Pelicans, well, they only have Anthony Davis and Jrue Holiday. Now, yes, Anthony Davis is the best power forward in the league, but this is going to be the Pelicans team we saw last year without DeMarcus Cousins. Before they traded for DeMarcus Cousins back in 2017, they were 2 games behind the 8th seed Denver Nuggets. And one thing that hurts here is the fact that the Pelicans right now were starting to play better. They had their struggles earlier this season, from last season and so on. Yeah, and they're currently right at this second. They're 6th seed in the West. They're only 1.5 games back from the 5th seed Oklahoma City Thunder. But with Cousins gone, they're simply eliminated from the playoff picture. What makes this especially sad is this is probably the end of the Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins dynamic duo. I mean, DeMarcus Cousins is set to hit free agency at the end of the season, and may simply just sign elsewhere. I mean, there's reasons why DeMarcus Cousins would. In Cousins' time with the Pelican last season wasn't so great. I mean, they ended up 10th in the West. And yes, he was adjusting to a new team, and things were projected to be better this season, and yeah, they were. But now he'll have to sit on the bench, injured, and watch his team slip out of the playoff race. Now, it's not like losing is new to him. He was with Sacramento. That's not to throw really shade at Sacramento, but they're not a good team, and they haven't been a good team for a long time. And, he had a great chance to play in the playoffs this season, but that's obviously gone now because he can't play this season at all. And the Pelicans won't be in the playoffs this year. I guess anything could happen, but I highly doubt that will happen. And, I mean, if you're a Pelicans fan, I couldn't even begin to imagine. I mean, you're watching your favorite team finally be in a playoff run, watching the best power forward and arguably the best center in the league play together. It was amazing to watch. They're very two highly energetic, highly athletic players with just great ability, and they're amazing players to watch. But then just to see it all crumble after someone who might be that's probably a lot of fans' favorite players, DeMarcus Cousins, suffers such an awful injury, ending not only their playoff aspirations that season, but we also have to realize that that might be the last time we see DeMarcus Cousins in a Pelicans uniform. Considering the fact, like I said, he's going to be a free agent at the end of the season, and any team that throws an offer at him can sign him. I mean, so you lose playoff hope and DeMarcus Cousins in a Pelicans uniform, potentially. But now let's move on to what this means for DeMarcus Cousins. Now, obviously, like I said, he won't, and this is obvious, he's not playing for the rest of the season, but he's going to be a free agent, like I was just talking about. He'll be able to sign with any team that throws an offer. But with an injury like this, his value will go down. He's not going to be guaranteed a max contract. Teams will have concerns about his health, because with this injury, signing DeMarcus Cousins is a risky move. I don't know if he'll be even healthy next season. At the start of the season, I think he'll play next season, but I don't know if he'll be healthy. So there's going to be an injury. Will he be a liability, or will he be a solid pickup? He won't be getting a max contract, which is going to hurt him, because without this injury, he was guaranteed a max. With this, no, he's not going to get a max contract, I don't think. So it's going to be hesitant. There's not going to be a lot of heat surrounding where will DeMarcus go. It'll be very slow because teams will be evaluating whether or not they want to throw money at this guy. And now let's go into the Pelicans. Now, obviously, yes, their playoff hopes this season are for sure over, and they should dive head straight into a rebuild. They'll have a difficult time making trades and signing players due to the depth and the cap situation they are currently in. If you look here at who they have at their player contracts, so let's look. Jrue Holiday tops off the list, and he's guaranteed over $25 million through the 2020-21 season. But let's look at other guys signed larger contracts. Solomon Hill is guaranteed over $12 million through the 2019-20 season, and he hasn't even played a minute this season. Talk about getting some good money for doing nothing. I don't know if he's injured or not, but I mean, geez, he hasn't played a minute this season, and he's making over $12 million, and I don't think was doing too much last season. Omer Sheik, he's guaranteed to $11 million through next season and has an early termination option for the 2019-20 season, and he's averaging under 2 points per game this season. Etwan Moore, he signed for a good amount, and he's performing rather well, and he's guaranteed through the 2019-20 season. Alexis Ajinka is guaranteed a decent amount through next season, but he hasn't played a minute this season also. So the Pelicans, obviously shown here, aren't in a great situation with their cap room. I don't know what they're going to do regarding Solomon Hill, Omer Sheik, and Alexis Ajinka, because it'll be pretty difficult to try to dump those guys and get them out of New Orleans. But they do have some value, guys like Jrue Holiday and Etwan Moore. I didn't include Anthony Davis because I don't think the Pelicans should trade him. He's the fourth youngest player on the team at age 24. He's the best player on the team, and he's guaranteed through the next 2 seasons and has an option for the 2020-21 season. Anthony Davis, out of everyone on the team, should be the one to stay in New Orleans. I know there's talk about Anthony Davis to Boston or Anthony Davis to Golden State, but the Pelicans need Anthony Davis. Anyways, so there you have it. DeMarcus Cousins' injury ends his season, lowers his value in free agency, and makes him a risky player for any team to acquire, even the Pelicans. The Pelicans simply should jump straight into rebuild mode by trading away Jrue Holiday and Etwan Moore, and they can get a decent value. Jrue Holiday and Etwan Moore, like I just said not that long ago, they're doing well this season. Jrue Holiday's putting up great stats. Etwan Moore is playing respectable basketball, but somehow they're going to need to find a way to dump the salaries of Solomon Hill, Omer Sheik, and Alexis Ajinka. I don't know what they're gonna do there, but they're gonna do something because they have to. And the Pelicans simply just need to trust the process. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already for more sports related content.